Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second part of today's Open Qualifier stream here for the Rival Esports Summer Open. Big shout out to Dazarin and Hunter for taking the brunt of the first part of today. But now we move into the second part where all of our matches will all be qualified for tomorrow's big old 18 bracket. I'm the Eternal J. Joining me for this one is Rival's own Samel, my man. It's been a while. How have you been?
Great, man. Just absolutely fantastic. I mean, I look forward to these nights, these moments where we get to cast Rocket League, and just unbelievable action so far. Of course, I've been watching, waiting in the wings, seeing all these great matchups so far. I mean, this has been kind of unreal. The number of good teams in the tournament tonight is just absolutely crazy. So, I mean, I fully expected some really good battles, and we've seen it so far. I mean, I'm kind of jealous of the guys before us. Hopefully these quarterfinals do us justice as well.
Yeah, I certainly think they would do, actually, because we have seen a couple of these teams that we're going to be seeing on stream in the next couple of hours actually do some really good stuff. We actually got the Boulevard versus Noble matchup up next. This is obviously 1-2 qualify for tomorrow's final bracket. And Boulevard have already beaten Afterthought so far in their tournament run. So, you know, a couple of teams actually falling out a little bit earlier than we would have expected. I think Upper 90 as well fell a little bit earlier on during today. So a lot of big North American teams, a lot of big North American names kind of just falling down way too early, I think, than a lot of people expected. So looking at this kind of a matchup and looking at these names, well, they might not be household titles and household names. They probably will be able to put up a pretty good match, I think.
Yeah, you expect as we move forward, we'll probably get a lot of votes for Afterthought, or for Noble in the chat there, because you have some household names on Noble. Definitely players that will definitely be recognized in the chat. But over on Boulevard's side, I'm surprised, actually. They had not just beating Afterthought, but taking them down 3-0. They got the sweep as well. So that was certainly impressive for Boulevard. So don't count them out, chat. If you're going to be voting, which I know you guys are, exclamation point BLVD if you want to give Boulevard some love. And on the other side, exclamation point NBL for Noble. But honestly, I would be tempted to vote Boulevard if I was out there putting that vote out. Looking at the bracket, honestly, that's impressive, that previous win getting into this quarterfinals.
Yeah, again, you know, Afterthought is a name that I think a lot of people looking at their, you know, opportunity to get to the bracket, I would have thought that they would have been one of the teams that made their way into that final bracket overall. So yeah, to see them go out to Boulevard, you know, as you say, it's a bit of an upset opportunity, 3-0 as well. So there's still plenty of plenty of potential in this particular side. So I want to keep my eyes on this one. I want to keep my eyes on how well they can do individually. So yeah, I'd say Bucker win. This actually could be quite an interesting one. Again, this is one of two matches that we'll have to see who will qualify. The second one being the Paradox versus Avidity. I'm going to struggle to say this because of dyslexia. Avidity Esports coming up in the second matchup of this shift. We've already seen Space Station make it through. They just beat out basically everyone. I only saw up like a single game so far in their bracket, so they're already confirmed. We've also got Solidarity taking on RVG Esports off stream as well. We're bringing the updates to that particular matchup as they do come in. For now, though, we are just about ready to get into this matchup here between the boys of Boulevard and Noble. I do think that you're probably going to predict the Noble side. I think you might be erring on their particular side. But Boulevard themselves, again, I can see the opportunity for a decent upset here, Sam.
Yeah, definitely. This is going to be just as competitive as the previous matches that we've seen. No doubt about that. Excited to see what happens. Game one. Got a lot of Rocket League in front of us.
Ball out to the blue half to start things off. A little bit of a return coming in, but Alpha Cap and ZPS will try and find a decent offensive play to that backboard, down to the center. Nice opportunity, but a little bit mispositioned there on the part of the Noble side. But Alpha Cap still goes in for a strike. Good defensive held out, rally back in towards his backline teammate. ZPS can't get the shot. Regardless, the defensive will hold true. Good dribble up. Alpha kept beating out one. Not the second, but a nice open net. It will still be ours. Coming on the rotation, able to get that one out of contention. So far, a pretty good defensive being held up by Boulevard.
Yeah, but it is Noble on the offensive. They've got a shot there. Relly comes through. And they keep the pressure on Alpha Kep with that hit there. They've done a great job of pushing Boulevard back so far early in this game. Definitely Noble with the early advantage.
Shots and passes, again getting set up by Noble here. all in the blue half. Finally a good breakaway coming in from J-Pow, but it's played right into the hands of Alpha Kep, who's on the defensive. Picks up that 100 as well. Rally will come in with a 100 boost of his own right. Challenged by 2 players coming back out. Now ZPS versus J-Pow, and J-Pow's just going to get completely outpositioned and outplayed. ZPS carries it past Andy. This is on target, and no one was expecting that one. First on the ball for Noble. Finally, that unrelenting aggression will work to their favor. Yeah,
it took transition actually as they did go back downfield, but it was ZPS moving up, catches the defense off guard. Took 4 shots, but finally Noble get the first on the board. You could sense that it was coming, Jay, as they definitely had all that pressure in that first minute. We'll see now, can Boulevard bounce back?
Oh, ZPS up for another good shot off the backboard. Alpha kept there for the redirect, but he can't get it down the center line. It will only stay off to the left-hand side of the net. So at least the defensive again can be held up by Boulevard, but the pacing fully in favor of the Noble side. They are happy to control where this ball goes and how fast it goes there. Boulevard is getting outplayed as a result. As passes in from Andy to J-Pow. Back over to Andy, but cut off by the defensive of Noble. Alraz is into that corner. J-Pow can tear back over to the orange half, pick up that 100 boost. The Alpha Kep comes up, puts it in the midfield again. Alvarez passing back over as ZPS takes it up with the ceiling. 2 points of boost, but it should be enough to carry it all the way forward. And there was no one there in that net. Boulevard having some really bad times with overcommitments in this one.
Yeah, aggressive on the attack. You know they wanted to get themselves back in this game, looking for that tie goal, but you have to be defensively responsible as well. It's just a clear downfield, and Noble will get that second goal off of that. That's not good for Boulevard when they're trying to get themselves back in this game. Now there's a kickoff here. Can Alpha Kep get it by? Doesn't, but there's ZPS. Follows up, gets the 3rd goal off the kickoff. Real aggressive play from Noble, and it's paying off.
Again, same situation. Pacing, control, adjustment. One good 50-50 on the defensive, but ZPS was so ready for that bull's angle. A little bit of playing from Alpha Kep as well to try and control that bull's angle over to his right-hand side. That leaves a 3-0 for Noble. Boulevard, a chance at this goal right here off the back of the kickoff. It's J-Pow passing to Andy, but he's a bit off target, and Andy a bit out of position. He would have put that back over to the midfield. ZPS challenges. He's got 2 more teammates to come in. Ready will boom it back downfield. J-Pow is ready to respond of his own right into this corner. Bounce back off the backboard. Again, a chance to score, but it's played right into the hands of Noble, who just seem to be adjusting to whatever position that Boulevard want to try and play from here.
The pace of the game right now is just fine for Noble. They're waiting to see what Boulevard do and then just responding on that. Got to see Boulevard start to put the ball in some uncomfortable situations for the other side. If not, it's going to be real easy for Noble, especially with this 3-0 lead. They can play real comfortable. Here's another chance here for Relly up top. It goes up off the crossbar and over, but that's just more of that, Jay. Pressure coming, even though they don't get a goal. Boulevard almost no chances in this game.
Oh, Andy with the ball control, the dribble in the air. Alraz will try go for a very similar style of play, but ZPS reads it well this time and challenges appropriately. J-Pow trying to continue the pressure. We'll get it off the backboard. Alpha kept there to put it out of the way. Andy trying to pass in. J-Pow there with a bump, and Rally will take control to keep it in that corner. So, no trouble, no bother for the Noble boys. Still nothing scored against them. They lead by that 3-0. J-Pow desperately tries to get
good
some flick. And Alpha Kep almost saved it as well. A near clutch coming out from Noble, but in the end, Boulevard do slip it past, and they do get there first.
Great play there by J-Pow as well. Makes that smart decision just to grab the ball and hold it just for a second. Gave him time to get that flick, and it was a beauty as he put it up over. They have a chance now for Boulevard, but they've got to push. Need more offense and need 2 more goals on the board if they're going to see overtime.
Well, bumping against J-Pow will take out some of that midfield control. That allows ZPS to set up a shot. It's still inside that box and dangerous. Couldn't clear out. Andy will try and receive it, but that 60-second gong sounding will leave them with a very, very pressured effort on their part. It's Andy challenged to get towards that midfield. ZPS with the ball control, excuse me. Alraz and Andy again being challenged. Alpha kept trying to pass out towards FPS, but he's rotated back for boost. Leaves a little bit of control towards Boulevard. They can't seem to capitalize on it. The bumps coming through could actually work in the long term for the Noble boys. Yeah, no one's challenging, expecting ZPS to boom that, and he's, again, control of the pacing, keeps them second guessing. Back over to Rally, good shot, but no goal. Andy comes in with a save at the 30-second mark, and they've got to try and get a counter-attack going. They're running out of time and running out of chances. The ball goes back to the center line, directly to the mid-center, in fact, and Alpha Kep can take another shot as a result. Ready, trying to harass that back line. It will be boomed over towards the other. He should get back in time to get this save, and indeed he will be able to do so. That should be stalled for enough time here. 10 seconds left on the clock. Alraz not able to get this redirect. Might get J-Pow, but J-Pow double flips his car, and Andy comes in to keep it in the corner, but not down the center line, not for a shot, and therefore not a game for Boulevard. Noble will take the first.
Just too much pressure, especially when Boulevard trying to get back in, trying to get those 2 goals, and Noble just suffocating on the other side of the field. They gave them no chance. And for Boulevard, they just couldn't find the clear there in the end to get any sort of offensive presence going. Really a great job by Noble just to stifle that in the end. I think they understood that lead that they had and understood that they just had to keep pushing. Sometimes you'll see teams wait back a little bit, not for Noble.
Yeah, you know, like they seem to have full control from the word go, essentially. Like they didn't really give any opportunities at all. You know, so suffocating, I think is the word that you mentioned a little bit earlier. How Boulevard just had no presence essentially in that orange half, and a lot of the time it was down to Noble's pressure. And again, something I picked up on was the fact that they always paced themselves properly. They always, you know, controlled the ball to slow it down for the appropriate times and speed it back up to take the offensive shooting. Which is something I really love out of a lot of teams. You know, I don't think a lot of players and teams in Europe try and play that style. Like it usually is pretty back and forth, sort of like a you know, shot and clear styles. That's why I kind of love the like little grassroots North America style. And Noble just really bringing it to the forefront right now to get a victory.
Yeah, and we didn't see a play from Boulevard to force the ball back downfield. I was just hoping there in that last 30 seconds that Boulevard could get that clear. It was going to take an individual effort, somebody to step up and make that play to get the ball down, and they just couldn't find it. So someone on this team is going to have to step up and put their teammates on their shoulders right now, because the team of Noble just too strong so far. A really convincing Game 1 win, and we'll see if they carry that into Game 2.
J-Pow bounce up here, start things off on the part of Boulevard. Andy at the backboard, no one can get that clear chance available, but they fall back down. Perfect opportunity after the double commit, and still Noble were able to adjust, get right back into the blue half. Good shot, good defense put up by J-Pow though, as Riley gets to the backboard one more time. Chance for Alpha Kep's taken away. And ZPS continuing to pressure as the bumps come through. J-Pow still able to receive out of the box. The ball will be played as Alvarez passes into Andy. Again, tease it off the backboard. The demo still will start to come through though. And so far, it has been a very, very nice start from the Boulevard side, although they can't quite seem to get the control on the first goal.
And at least they're pushing downfield now, Jay. They're looking for each other. You saw a pass there earlier, at least got them field presence. That's the start for them. They were having trouble just pushing into the Noble end. So if we can see that, maybe they can build off of it. Here they are, Andy to the center. J-Pow not there, but this is nice for them, especially that demo.
Opening up opportunities. The step for them is to try and capitalize on those. Perfect opportunity for the shot off Andy's demo, but nothing will come out from them. They continue to try and continue to get some sort of pressure here in the orange half, being challenged at the midfield several times. Alvarez again with control of the backboard, trying to control into the box. In the end, Relly will disrupt the whole play, and Andy and J-Pow fall right back again. J-Pow up, Andy off the backboard, looking for his second touch in, but Relly able to defend against it. Again, good reads coming out from the Noble side, but now they're starting to bump each other out of play. This actually could get a bit more shaky for them, but they are able to clear effectively once again. Challenged by Alraz, will move back down to the orange half of the field. So more pressure for Boulevard in this one, but it is a lot less confident pressure compared to what Noble were bringing out in Game 1.
Hey, but at least they haven't given up that goal. Staying here at this 0-0 game, that's exactly where they want to be, especially with the increased pressure. J-Pow coming up over top. Can he get it done? Big save by Alpha Kep, but 2 shots already beating their total from Game 1. They just had the 1 in that Game 1.
Alraz, the sideboard, trying to shoot on target. Was going to be a bit too far wide. Good challenge again. J-Pow, they're trying to recover, but 2 good 50-50s is all they need. Alraz passes back to Andy, but Andy's too far back to receive it and take a shot. ZPS into the corner, beats out one more offending player, now gets back on the offensive of his own right. Off to the corner, back to the backboard, into the danger box temporarily. Back over to the corner as Andy tries to play it back out. Alpha Kep gets it up to ZPS. And now it's up to Relly. Again, sets it high. ZPS chance on the target, but way too high and way too close to the backboard. Will bounce off the crossbar instead. Get boomed away again, cleared out by Boulevard, but they have to turn this pressure into a goal. We're past halftime, so far scoreless. J-Power will get it to Alraz, but again, slight mispositionings on the part of Boulevard will cost them their perfectly set up opportunities.
And we're seeing Noble wake up as well. That was a good 30 seconds, at least, that Noble was just pressuring down in Boulevard's end. This is definitely where Noble are responding here. Can Boulevard get a goal? They need that one goal just to give them some confidence right now.
Alraz tries again to get it out of his own half, try and set that up, and a good challenge from Alpha Kep, demoed out by Alraz. Good play from him, recognizing that danger, recognizing there was no one in the net. They continue just to hold this backline again. Boulevard not allowing that first goal to come in against them, but vice versa could also be said for the Noble boys. Boom back downfield from J-Pal, and he's got control, tease it high, and Alpha Kepler's allowed that room to breathe, essentially, so he can get back off the orange backboard and control it in over at the midfield. Again, J-Pal will boom it into the corner. Chance for Alraz, challenged again by ZPS, as J-Pal continues the pressure off the backboard. Second touch opportunity, and double commit on the defensive. Will get it out, though. ZPS is overall here for the dribble clear. A minute left to go on the clock, and we are returned back to the blue half. Neither side able to score as of right now. And again, this defensive just does not let up.
Much better job, though, from Boulevard. They're pressing here. Another shot coming. Alraz up top. Boulevard need to just press because they have pushed Noble back. They just need that one final play to get the goal. Shot over top, not going to be it. But the final minute, Boulevard really looking good in the later stages of this game.
Time is ticking. ZPS going to try and exploit a small gap in the fence, but another big gap is going to open itself up, and still they shoot to the post rather than directly down the line. Boulevard, the perfect chance to score that opening goal in the last couple of seconds. It will be counter-attacked, opened up by the part of the Noble side, but they can't get the shots in of their own right. No one to go and come in from the center. And the final 10 seconds will tick by. It's Alpha Kep getting it over to the corner, and he's going to try and slow things down. Defend against the incoming attack, and it still goes on target off the backboard. J-Pow keeps it alive. Alpha Kep keeps it alive as well, as Alraz is demoed out, and he's going to try and get a defense control, as FPS can't reach that ball in time. We are in overtime, still scoreless for our second game.
5 minutes and 5 shots for Boulevard, but no goals. Clearly much better pressure from them in this game. Now all they need is that one goal to move forward and tie it up here. See if they can do it as J-Pow moves downfield and they look to get set up.
Andy, Alraz trying to insert himself into the center line instead. I thought Andy was going to come forward, but Alraz with a bit more momentum behind his ball. Now Rally here with a counter attack. On target with that slow ball, trying to get into Alpha Kep instead. J-Pow now controls past the man in question, sets up to Alraz again, off to the backboard, but the third player is way too far back and can't capitalize on the position set up by his teammates. Again, perfect opportunity set up, but not capitalized upon on the part of Boulevard. But once again, they will go to that backboard. Andy over to the corner. Alraz comes in with a shot that's going to be too far wide to the right-hand side. J-Pow gets it inside that box. Once again, 2 players committing on the defense. Alraz lurks back in this corner and will keep it on target for the most part, but they just can't seem to get this dunk down shot. Noble, just as effective on the defensive as Boulevard have been so far. Great reads on his ball's path, great disruptions and great intercepts, but his ball is still getting dangerously close to their net, more so than it is getting towards Boulevard whenever Noble have the pressure on their own half.
And it does feel like Boulevard have the chance right now. They have Noble on the ropes.
Ooh.
Coming down through. ZPS, big save, but still more pressure. J-Pow up over top.
Oh!
He does it. 1-0, only takes the 1 in overtime. It's J-Pow, it's Boulevard. Finally, that pressure pays off.
Disruptions, demos into the back line, and by the time the last man rotated in, it was way too late. A first on the board for Boulevard and a last on the board in this game as they bring this series back to 1-1. A lot of promise being shown by both sides, again, especially Boulevard, who had a couple of issues, a couple of mistakes forced out of their hand throughout, of course, that first game. But in that second game, the same cannot be said. The defensive held true, the pressure was there, a couple of mistakes on the offensive line, but in the end, they found that all-important goal.
Definitely not the blueprint necessarily that you would want. Obviously pushing all the way into overtime, taking that overtime session to get that one goal. Finally, though, they do get that goal on the board, and it's a huge one there from J-Pow. Just an unbelievable individual effort, but we saw it coming. The field was starting to tilt in Boulevard's favor. They finally had that offensive presence that they've been looking for this entire series. So for Noble, they're going to need to respond as well, because I could fully expect that Boulevard will come out swinging in the next game. You know, they're going to come out fast. Hopefully they'll come out confident as well, because I do believe they're up to the task against Noble. We saw them get here with that sweep against Afterthought. We know that they are capable.
Absolutely, you know, and I wouldn't, you know, I think a lot of people did expect the likes of Noble to be the favorites, you know, just in terms of just a firepower capacity, as you were saying earlier. You know, there are some relatively decent, well-known names in North America. But you know, Boulevard have already proven themselves in one aspect, even though we didn't get to see that on stream. I think we're seeing a couple of reasons why they were able to win out that particular matchup. So let's see if they can continue to build on the very solid foundation that they've already managed to set up here. Game 3, we're 1-1 in the series, in case you're just joining us. And already the kickoff could get punished here by Andy. In the end, it's Alpha Cap to turn it over to the blue half. Good control, but good challenge by Alvarez, and Andy with a great response. Booms it back downfield. It's a very dangerous ball. Reddy's got to get high. He's got to get that ball out of contention alongside ZPS. Challenges coming in from the blue side as they come out towards the orange half. To the backboard into the corner. J-Pow and Alvarez being out to the ball, and Demo will come through. Reddy's now got to win 150-50 to get this first goal in, but J-Pow wins it out instead as Alvarez gets it back to Andy. Great opportunity. Good shots on target, but ZPS comes in with a clutch save.
Big save. We've seen a few from him in this series. None bigger than that, as that keeps this game scoreless. This is now Boulevard starting to come alive. We've seen them struggle in that game 1, but it's been all them for the last few minutes. There's another chance as Alvarez goes through. ZPS, another big one. Wow, if not for ZPS, this could easily be 2-0 for Boulevard.
Already downfield, Andy. There for the defense. J-Pow bounce off the corner directly into his own path. He's exploited it. What an angle. Perfect position, the perfect setup to himself. And he gets the first on the board for Boulevard.
Yeah, it was a whiff from Alpha Kep, but there's J-Pow ready and waiting. If the ball was going to hit that wall, he was going to be there, and you knew he would make that play. Now, the first goal coming so much earlier for Boulevard compared to that previous game. See how they play with a lead now. It's been really all Noble or a scoreless game. How will Boulevard play? Will they capitalize here and continue to push on this lead?
If they can do just that, again, returning to that orange half very early on of the kickoff, but also returned by ZPS and Alpha kept on the defensive. A fantastic pass, boom back downfield. The standard defensive that we've seen set up so many times, and this time they thread the needle past every player of the defense.
That's the message to Boulevard from Noble, that you better keep an eye out what's going on in the field, because that came down in a hurry. Just a quick transition play, and Noble able to get the game tied up. That shows the skill that they have. They will always be in this series. Now 1-1, we're back to this tie. Are we going to see another overtime? Such a stalemate in game 2.
Oh, Andy again threading the needle. Alvarez there for the dunk down chance, and he gets it in past the last man. Great team play now starting to come out from the Boulevard side, and again, good challenges setting themselves up. They're back in the lead here in game 3.
All 3 players coming through. Transition again downfield. Such a great team play, like you said. Boulevard definitely waking up here. For Noble, they will need to respond. If Boulevard go up in this series, I could definitely see them just closing it out. These 3 players play extremely well together.
Gained several advantages above Noble so far here today. They might just be able to get another as Alvarez goes in. Andy there trying to redirect it, but he isn't able to account for Alpha Kep. Actually gets it over to the blue half alongside his teammates. Goes for a flick of his own right, and it's defended by Alvarez using the crossbar as a rebounding technique. J-Pow comes in with a defensive of his own right, gets it way outside the box this time. ZPS continues to pressure off to the backboard. Andy there to keep it away. And no setup coming in for the Noble side at the halftime marker. Andy will be able to return to the orange half temporarily. Rally comes in again, putting out to the box. ZPS trying to get some control, but too much momentum behind that ball. Can't control it, keeps it in the corner instead.
(3-1) Alraz out to the center. Relly just the bounce, definitely not what he was looking for, but that pressure from Boulevard, they looked so hesitant in previous times here, but Boulevard overwhelming there on offense, not afraid to just push up there. Impressive play from them, and now the 3-1 lead. And they keep this going. Finally, a big lead for Boulevard. Huge for them, really, as they now push again. Relly cuts in front, gets a play, gets in the way of that. Noble really have to get something moving, or they will be out of this game here, as now Alraz going to finish it off 4-1. 3-goal lead now here for Boulevard, as they have really extended this play here and just come on strong against Noble.
Now Alraz with the setup, 4-1 on this board at this stage. Things are looking good. And again, quite surprising when you consider that Noble were the favorites into this one. Boulevard, a lot to prove so far in today's bracket. They've proven a mountain and could well be in tomorrow's final bracket. Certainly an achievement for these boys, as Noble try desperately to scramble to get back into contention of this game. Ball down the center line, ZPS, a great dunk down opportunity, but it's taken away by J-Pow. Follow-up could come through, but Alraz there for the defensive against Relly, beats out Alpha Kep as well. Actually, almost does. J-Pow there with the recovery play, and again, to put the pressure on to the orange backboard. Pressure, even if it doesn't get any goals, will stall for time at this stage in the game. It's exactly what you need. And he goes over to that corner, 60 seconds about to sound here. ZPS, hear that pressure, try and get something done here, but the defensive from Boulevard has looked consistent throughout the course of this entire series, and it's not going to let up now.
And obviously now they just have to hold on. 3-goal lead is huge, especially in this final minute. Have to keep it safe on defense. They got 2 men back, and that's exactly where they need to be. Looks like they may take this game here, and what a response. Oof. Yeah, all 3 players. It's dangerous, but they're going to get that clear every time with so much defensive presence. That's what the big lead will get you.
Alraz to the backboard, Relly will just be able to clear it back out. 30 seconds remaining. I think this might be a bit too insurmountable for the Noble boys. Relly will still try. Alraz will keep it away from him. ZPS will get high in his own right. Boost to flick it back over to that backboard again, challenged by 1 man, but 10 seconds left on the clock. It's way too far gone here for Noble. They're going to concede the match point to Boulevard at 2-1 on this series board. But a fantastic game from the boys over from the Boulevard side. It is just really good, really impressive. You know, I wasn't 100% convinced throughout that game 1, but game 2 looked better. Game 3, it looked even better than the last one. So I'm just very, very impressed, essentially, from what's been shown up today here, Sam.
Yeah, interesting development, especially because, I mean, they only had those 2 goals in the first 2 games. I think they were lucky to get that game 2 victory with just the 1 goal on the board. I mean, anytime you can win 1-0, you've obviously done a good job on defense, but at the same time, you know you're kind of thankful because that 1 goal on the board usually not enough to take it home. So for them to break out in this game 4 goals, honestly, that's huge, doubling their output for the entire series. And they're keeping Noble down as well. So really a reversal compared to that game 1. For Noble, I don't know. They played well. They had a lot of shots. They had some big saves as well. But I really think that Boulevard are starting to play as a team and starting to see that the Noble defense, it's crackable. This is not an unbeatable team.
No, absolutely not. I think they proved that in the first game alone, you know, with how many close opportunities they had against their own board. It was just a case of finding that last little bit to push it forward. And now that they've found that, they're just exploiting over and over again. It's not even a major problem at all, essentially, for those boys. They have got a bit more of a time to think, though, on the Noble side, because the server has gone down for maintenance, as it usually likes to do. So a small little opportunity is like almost like a little tactical pause. If you're Noble in this situation, you know, and you've got to try and turn this around, what's the kind of thing that you'd have to try and look towards? What is the kind of thing you'd have to try and, you know, try and pick apart on the part of the Boulevard side?
The aggression, for sure. They had a lot more aggression in the first game, and they forced the defense to make plays then, whereas right now it seems like I said, it's been a complete reversal. Instead, it's been Boulevard as the aggressive side. So you kind of get punched a little bit in a series, and at that moment, you really got to punch back. I really feel like we see that often as pace quickens as you go forward in the series, as both teams realize what each team can do. And I think that's exactly what Noble have to do right now. Just come out as fast as they can. And then, even though it seems cliche, getting that first goal, because I will say Boulevard playing extremely well when they have that lead.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they have been playing very, very well on the part of Boulevard. Again, I can't stress that enough. You know, I think that they've proven exactly why they're able to beat out Afterthought. You know, great defensive being posted alongside some great counter-attacking and team plays as well that really came to fruition in that third game, excuse me. So, yeah, I think honestly they might just have this series under their own wraps. But speaking of teams that have things under their own wraps, again, we're just giving you a quick bracket update while we wait for the server to get back up and running. RBG just beat out Solidarity at 3-1, so they are in tomorrow's bracket, joining Space Station, of course, as the other team that's made it through this bracket so far today, of course, alongside 4 invited teams, and of course the winner of this series plus the winner of the Paradox versus Avidity series. So plenty to look forward to on today and tomorrow's stream so far. For now though, we're just waiting on Boulevard Noble to get set back up so we can jump into the matchup. Yeah, I think that now we've seen where Boulevard stand at the moment. I think it is a safe sort of bet to see them as the victors overall so far. They are match point essentially, so they've got to get one more game in before they take this victory and again move on to tomorrow's bracket. So yeah, I like their chances right now, Sam.
Well, I'm not ready to exactly write it. I mean, I will say I think Noble were looking pretty good after the first game, so I hope we see the game 5 for everyone's sake. I mean, I think everybody here wants to see that game 5, no doubt about it. But I will say I expect that Noble will come back strong in game number 4 here and have a real good chance of pushing it forward. So I wouldn't count them out just yet. But for Boulevard, I mean, you look at that, they may have gotten some new fans as you look at the bracket guys because they've had a really good run. And obviously they've had some really good games throughout. Not going to count them out yet, but sometimes the cream does always kind of rise to the crop. So we'll see.
Yeah, and obviously, you know, talking about the Noble side and how they can try and come back, you know, one of the key things to remember as well is that they had their best success in game number 1. So now that we've got this downtime, now that we've got this little opportunity for essentially both teams to mentally reset themselves, there might be a bit of a shout right here to turn things around. We are going to jump into this game. We are a minute into this matchup. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. Excuse me, we're not even into the matchup. That's actually just a tester.
Gets you every time.
So I'm being an idiot.
Yep. No.
I'm being an idiot, essentially.
Gets you every time, for sure. See these guys playing, you hop in, you're like, were we missing out on this action? That's a good thing, Jay, is they never, behind the scenes, they're not going to let that happen to us. They're not going to let us miss out on any of this.
Yeah, I don't have enough faith in our boys in the Rival Esports technical camp who know what they're doing, unlike me. You know, that's why I make these mistakes all the time. So, you know, it's all good. But I am being told that we are ready to get into the matchup. The Noble boys are ready. Boulevard are happy with the server. And again, they are the boys on match point. 2-1 in the series so far for Boulevard. It's a best of 5. They win this next game, they're going to move on to tomorrow. Noble will have to end off their run here in the Open Qualifiers at the last hurdle of the Open Qualifiers. So let's see if they can turn a mini reverse sweep as we are ready to get into the action here for game number 4. Another great kickoff to start things off for Boulevard as Alpha Kep gets it back down towards the backboard, trying to quickly turn things around. It's off to the backboard again. The part of Relly. Towards the orange half this time is ZPS taking control from his own right. Flicked back over into the corner. Beats out Andy, can't beat out Alraz. Already with a challenge towards him, but Alraz beats him all the same. So continuing to pressure, continuing to move forward, continuing to play the same game that they played so far in the last couple of matches, and they might just be able to get the first goal off the back of that.
Seems like Noble are questioning themselves too, Jay. I mean, these shots, they're coming in. You see it. They're coming in strong, and Noble are not there to intercept any of this right now.
Slight angling issues there on the part of the Boulevard side, but they continue to hold presence in the orange half. It's J Powell out to the corner. Demo in. Alvarez there for the shot. Alpha Cap there in for the save. Andy continuing to move forward into the box. Continuing to put that ball into the box. Moving from J Powell, Alvarez there to receive, gets it off the backboard, bounces into the box, continues to pressure and continues to control, but has to take it wide. Way too many players to deal with, he's got to wait for backup, and Andy will come forward again to get it off the backboard, but third man, unable to take the shot, will go high and eventually pushed out of contention on the part of the Noble side, trying to get that counter-attack set up, but good intercepts coming in again from Boulevard, able to deny every single opportunity for Noble. Very similar to what Noble were doing in game 1, actually.
Yeah, wow, I really feel like Boulevard want this here. You can just feel it as their pressure on Noble has started from the very first kickoff in this game, and they have not let up. Jay Moore here is now Alraz up over top, and all Relly can do is put that into the corner as Alraz takes out Alpha Kep. Wow, what a showing so far for Boulevard.
Then VS now beating out another player on a quick flick. Good challenge again into the midfield. Andy on towards Relly position. J-Pow now takes control. Flick missed. Relly with a great chance, but Alras is there to disrupt it. Trying to shoot if he had all the room to breathe, and unfortunately he doesn't. Alpha Ket gets up. ZPS also with the control. Now Sonic's starting to go to the favor of the Noble side. They've got a little bit of ball control, a little bit of aggression and presence in that blue half. Alpha Ket tees it up. Relly there on towards the backboard, trying to get a pass into Alpha, who wants to leave it back towards his teammate, but in the end the ball just goes flying out of the way. ZPS into Relly, again bouncing off the corner board into the mid-center line. Boom back downfield by the boys over on Boulevard. Can't quite get the shot in, so 2 minutes and 30, half time through game number 4. And once again, we are completely scoreless at this stage.
Yeah, and we saw what that meant for Boulevard when we saw that scoreless game going into overtime. They ended up taking that game there, so they're comfortable in a scoreless moment. You know that they are. Here's Andy up top. Can he get the double over? He does! Off that back wall, huge goal for Andy. And there it is, Boulevard first goal. You can feel it.
Such a difficult angle to hit as well. Beautifully done from Andy. A first on the board for his team as well, with 2 minutes left to go on the clock. This could be the one that seals the deal again. They won by a single goal in game number 2. Let's see if they can do the same in game number 4 to put this series to bed. Ready to pass on to ZPS, however, a bit of pressure coming off the back of the kickoff for the part of Noble. J-Pal gets it down, Alvarez bounce off the sideboard. That one is going on target, but Alpha Kep is there to deny all the same. Andy holds the midfield. J-Pal also there with him. Keeps it on the left-hand side. Andy will come forward, challenged again by ZPS. J-Pal up and over. Alpha Kep challenged again. And Relly puts that back over to the corner. Again, trying to keep the pressure going for the Noble side. They might actually set up a decent shot. ZPS demos come out. And there you go. The opportunity opened up. The gap punched straight through the fence of the Boulevard defensive. And Noble will try to equalize.
What a massive demo. Alpha Kep coming through. Gets the demo and opens up the net. That is huge as Noble find that first goal and get themselves back in this game. Oh, good bump off the kickoff. Not going to be a chance for ZPS, but what a demo just to open it up, Jay. That was a massive play. Really appreciate that from Noble, and now they're finding some effort and finding some aggression off of that.
Look at the control they've got here in the blue half once again. Alpha kept getting it to the backboard. Andy can just barely defend it out here. Alraz gets it over to the orange half one more time. It's ZPS up and out. Alpha kept beaten out by J-Pow. 60 seconds on the clock as the passes come up and over. Andy will be there to receive. He had a fantastic dribble goal in on game 2. Here today, it's not going to be allowed for game number 4. It's Alpha kept with all the control and almost forced the own goal out from J-Pow. Relly will be there inside the corner to try and pass out to ZPS, who's got control on the other side of the field, trying to beat out Andy, who just blocks that right inside that corner. Demo in on Relly will take out some of the pressure, but here they come back in over to the box. Dangerously close, that ball was on target. They do get it back out to the orange half. 30 seconds remaining as Relly comes up and over. 0 points to boost, can't get much further than this. J-Pow again off to the backboard. ZPS will be here to pass out to Relly. Only can get it to the midfield. Alpha Cat can't even get the shot down the center line. It goes over to the side once again. There's 10 seconds remaining. ZPS with a bit of pressure. J-Pow with a boom back downfield. Alvarez there to pass over to Andy. Perfectly set up for him. He beats out another. Alvarez here with a great redirect chance. He leaves it open for J-Pow, who can't get down chance. It's still Alvarez with all the control. Andy bumps him out the way. Breakaway to come through from Noble as ZPS with a dribble sets it up to the backboard, but Alvarez gets it on the floor. Excuse me, we're going to overtime.
Too much for Jay. Clearly this action on the field just all over the place. Both teams making Jay lose his mind. I can see him now, guys. I'm gonna carry this load a little bit because he's absolutely just dying here, but how could you not? Back and forth we go, both teams up to the challenge, and Jay, this is where we want to be. Another overtime, and this is exactly where these teams want to be. Now it feels like both woken up. There's a shot coming through. Andy gonna make that block. Alraz down. He's got Andy through the center. Can he get it? Andy does keep this play alive and into the corner. CPS out center, but there's Alraz up off the top. Goes back through. Big save coming for Relly as J-Pow gets that. More pressure here for Boulevard. Another shot coming down. Alraz as his teammates wait. They're back in. J-Pow comes back through and finally Noble able to clear this ball down, but not for long as Alraz up off the top. J Pow and Andy both in the center. J Pow gonna wait out, gonna demo Alpha Cap as well. That gives Andy a chance. He'll dribble pass. Can he get through Relly? He does. Alpha Cap though, big save, puts it up and over. Jay has returned this action. Too much for everyone. Chat's probably losing it too. Jay, I hope you're all right.
I am fine. It's just gotten really humid in my room, which is causing my throat to close up. So it's okay. I'll be fine. Hopefully I won't have to choke on my own words. Instead, Boulevard have to choke on their own defensive, it seems, Sam, as Noble find that one gap they need. ZPS will find the one angle he needs. And there you go. 2-1 on the board. We're going to game 5 for our penultimate series of the day.
And the pressure there, and really that double from Relly opens that up. He came back just in time, Jay, to see us go to game number 5. So, I mean, that, again, seems like it's part of that script that we keep hearing about, because now this just sounds like more drama. But, guys, I mean, this is too crazy for us right now. I don't even know how I can talk. I'm having to keep it low-key because I know we got another match in front of us. So I've been really trying to make sure that I don't go too all out. But, Jay, I don't know. I didn't know what to expect for those two teams. When you bowed out, it was 1-1, and both teams were just going back and forth. I did my best to keep up.
I mean, I did my best to keep up as well. I'm not gonna lie, man. It's been a struggle so far today. But yeah, no, I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure where we would go from overtime myself, to be honest. I expected Boulevard maybe to come out with a decent swing. I thought if they didn't, Noble might have a chance, and it seems like they do. So yeah, I'm very. I don't know. I was pretty confident about Boulevard initially, but now things have kind of turned around a little bit. Noble are backing with a decent chance here, Sam. I don't know if there's anything specific that you saw out of them in that last matchup. We obviously saw they had to break down the defense or the offensive. They had to try and break the opportunities available for that side. I think they kind of did a better job on defensive overall. But is there anything special that you noticed before we jump into game 5?
They were really just matching the play from Boulevard. I think that's the first time that we saw both teams playing their game, and it really worked out well for both sides as the aggression was there. They didn't hold back. They weren't thinking and overthinking the play. You maybe saw that earlier. This is going to be the best game that we've seen in this series. Game number 5. What a series so far.
Oh, J Pow already setting things up to the point blank position. Alvarez leaves it back for him as well. Couldn't get the double touch in with the opening goal here, but still getting close to the line. Relly also the same. Backboard play, second touch, able to be denied by Alvarez. He comes in over to that corner. It's J Pow outside of the box itself. Alpha and again to try and pass down to Relly, beaten out by 1. No, he misses off the backboard one more time. The third player is a little bit late to this marker. Again, pass up, again, chance. Alpha gets to the backboard. It's up towards, but Relly is unable to get the accurate shot. It goes off the crossbar instead, Sam. The perfect opportunities, the perfect pressure wasted by Noble as they're unable to get this opening goal in. Now they can return over on this orange half. J Pow, a little bit of pressure, but it's turned away again. And Noble, this time they're the ones with the majority of the pressure out here. Again towards the center line, but can't get that shot in. Good defensive held up by Boulevard again. And off to the crossbar, Andy there for the save. Alpha kept dunk opportunity, but Alvarez with the most awkward of angles able to save it in his own right. J Pow there with another good 50-50 set up his teammate to come forward, and he's a little bit away. Alvarez leaves it for Andy in the midfield control for the moment here. Bounces off that sideboard again towards the ceiling. 1 point of boost, may still carry this forward, but ZPS reads it. J Pow comes in with a secondary shot. It's off the crossbar, and therefore it is not in this time here for Boulevard.
How many crossbars will we see now for both sides? As we've seen some really powerful shots, but not quite the accuracy. There's Andy out center, not going to do it. That crossbar has been the fourth member. How many players are on the field? Is this chaos? I'm not sure. It seems like it so far, but crossbar just as integral as any of these players so far.
Alvarez out to the corner here. Relly keep it inside that corner, trying to use it as a basis for the pressure on the part of Noble. Got that pressure in towards that blue half, but still scoreless here. Several times throughout this series, we've gotten to that halfway marker, that 2-minute and 30 point of the clock, and still nothing has been scored. It looks like it might just be the same right here. Alvarez tries to change that though as he goes in for a pinch shot. Takes it away on the part of ZPS. Relly bouncing back over to the midfield. J-Pow keeps it into the center line, and Alpha Kep can pass up to Relly. J-Pow's there to receive it, but it still goes off to that backboard. Third man ZPS coming in, but he can't quite get the angle. Again, the challenges are so good for Boulevard. They can get on the counter attack. J-Pow turned away as Alpha Kep off to the backboard one more time. Andy gets his opponents to the ball as they continue to hold the midfield control. Again, trying to get that shot set up, but over to the center. Alraz here with a chance to dunk down. Alpha Kep takes it away. There's no troubles, it seems, from Noble's defensive at this point in time.
Very interesting style that each of these teams are playing. You're seeing a flurry of presence. Oh my God. A flurry of presence, and then they back off, and they try to get that response. It's giving each team time to set up and try to formulate an attack. You see that here as J-Pow puts up, and it has Alraz into the center. I think both teams realize the stakes here, and they're not wanting to give up that final goal. It could be the one to get them forward.
J-Pow tees it off, tries to flick back past the ZPS, but doesn't quite do so. Alraz kind of fall away. ZPS controls it and pinches over to the box. Andy blocks it off. Relly inside the box one more time, but it is turned away over to the orange half one more time. Andy being missed on his own part, can't set up the ball, but J-Pow's still recovering. Oh, Alraz, what a setup and what a shot. First on the board for Boulevard just before we hit the 60 seconds. That is a hell of a start, finally coming through for them.
That second touch from J-Pow and the mechanical awareness to just slowly spin his car around so we could get that subtle touch there, putting the ball out and setting up Alraz on a platter. Gonna be a goal every time with a setup that pretty. And now will we see Noble bounce back? They just have a minute to do so. Jay, seen them fight back in the series, but will it be Boulevard? More chances coming through.
Stopped. The ball has been stopped directly in front of the net. They couldn't get the shot in. It is returned back over by the orange half of Noble. They try and get that equalizer back in. They've got 40 seconds to do so. It's only one goal to the comeback. Relly into the corner. Tries to get up high and put this ball back over to the midfield. J-Pow and Alraz, all the room to breathe as they pass up to Andy. Dunk opportunity, but ZPS reaves the danger and gets it out of contention. It's Alpha Kep now with all the control over to Relly. Great pass in, and they've got the equalizer back in at 1-1 in game 5. It doesn't look like we're done yet, Sam.
What a pass from Alpha Kep. He doesn't shoot. He sees Relly is right there with him. That's a 2-on-1, and Alpha Kep, the perfect chance right out. What a play and what a goal. We have now the tie game. And here is Alpha Kep coming back down, but no. We will see another overtime. I hope we do, Jake. Jesus.
It looks like it might be possible, but Alpha Kep here for the shot. Alraz will be able to defend it. ZPS still tees it over. Boom back downfield will come through for Boulevard. But Relly still challenging in towards Alraz's position. Andy to try punish, but he can't keep the ball up. And we will be in overtime for game 5 of this one. Next goal will send the appropriate team to the final bracket. And Andy almost got it right there. Kickoff start again in the favor of Boulevard. Alraz puts it in a J-Pow's position. But in the end, Alpha Kep will go up high, try and take it away from the box. But that almost ended in a matter of seconds in the favor of Boulevard. Relly off the backboard, almost got it in of his own right off the post. It will bounce, going a little bit too wide this time around as both Noble and Boulevard inches away from ending this one off in glory.
I feel like this could go on forever, and I kind of want it to go on forever right now with how this series has gone.
Please no.
Another overtime.
I know you can't keep up.
I know you're dying, but right now, I'm loving what we're seeing. The battle here. Relly out and Alpha Kep to the corner. These two teams just so evenly matched right now.
Absolutely, it has been a back and forth affair. From the word go, it feels like. Alraz over to Andy, though, and Alpha Kep puts it out of position. Your slightest of taps keeps it away. As J-Pow comes up, Alpha Kep booms it back down, Relly tees it off. Third man to come forward, he's a bit too far back and just concedes the control to Andy and J-Pow. Over to the orange half, we'll play it once again. Relly in and over. Alraz there to block it and maintain control, take it round the town. But over to the sideboard, bounce up for Alraz to take control. Tries to beat out one, almost beats out ZPS. Follow-up shot to come in from J-Pow is blocked off by another 50-50. It's now Andy's turn to come in and continue the pressure. ZPS and Alpha Kep playing off each other. Alraz will beat them, and Relly finally finds the boom opportunity right back down the other end of the field. It's Alpha into the corner. Again, returned by J-Pow. Again, returned by ZPS. Alraz maintains the overall control. Alpha kept just a back and forth control between player per player and side per side. Now ZPS going to try up his own flip reset shot, but it is going to be too high. Alpha kept with the recovery back to the backboard in towards two players in the center line, but neither one can get the shot. Neither one can get the final goal that they need. It goes back down the orange end of the field, and ZPS can't challenge against J-Pow, who comes in from the center and finally ends things off the favor of Boulevard. GGs are in order, 2 minutes and 12 into overtime, and the blue side of the court, the Boulevard side of the court, we're moving forward to day 2.
You hate to see it, as that clear left much to be desired. You know he wanted to get that downfield, but instead there is J-Pow just waiting, knocking on the doorstep, ready for any sort of mistake to be made. And it felt like that overtime was going to be either a big play from someone or a mistake, because everyone was playing so cautiously. They definitely understood the stakes and what it meant, because obviously, guys, that means Boulevard, another upset for them. They will move forward into tomorrow's closed qualifier. And unfortunately for Noble, they go home.
Yeah, but it was a well-fought battle on the part of Noble. You cannot take that away from them. They were a single goal away from going through towards tomorrow's final bracket. It was unfortunate that it didn't work out that way. Boulevard, though, what a run they've had. First, the afterthought side getting swept out of the way very easily. And now here against Noble, they've had a fantastic series to really show us what they're made of going into tomorrow. It might be a very interesting time for them. And of course, they'll join the likes of RBG and Space Station, who have already qualified. We've still got to find one more team, though. Paradox and Avidity are waiting in the wings, and they are ready to take center stage for our final match of the Open Qualifiers. We're going to go to a very short break, so don't go anywhere as we get that match set up for you live on Rival Esports' Summer Open.